Welcome back to another video. Today I'm here at Pasir Ris. It's quite cloudy and I'm here with Shafiq, who owns this very beautiful Look 765. Shafiq, over to you, and please do let us know what is this bike.
Here with me is the Look 765 Pro Team. So the color of like the geometric colors, which I do enjoy looking at sometimes. The frame has a bunch of history, of which would be ridden by me and my brother lah. So it's just me. We've been changing bikes, switching because of our constant need to find something new, you know. So the group set is actually a Rojak group set. So by that I mean there's a plethora of different components. So the shifters and the cranks are the Altegras 6800s. The group set is the Dura Ace 9000s. Brakes are 105s. So it's just a bunch of they call it Rojak mixed components. Most of these parts are just second-hand parts that I took from Carousel, from friends, from all these lobangs. You know, they have like this hidden price, all that, and managed to build off a Rojak bike lah, essentially. Okay, so the saddle is once again off a very smart deal of a friend of mine as well. So the saddle is, if I'm not wrong, is Antares, the magnesium saddle rail. Similarly, the wheel set as well. It's a deal that I got off a friend, and then after that, from there, I just bought it off. I mean, there's a whole line of story, but the simple idea was that I bought it off him, and I got it lah.
How are these wheels and how much did you get it for?
Okay, so I got off a deal, about a 1.2k deal, off a friend. You know, Carousel is like an amazing place of trial and error. So I would say I was lucky enough to be able to get this for a very low price. I would say so far, Zips has not been like the greatest choice of wheel sets, because I think it's quite flexible in a sense where when you ride, you can feel the whole wheel moving side to side. And I'm equipped with a 28mm. Okay. So it's quite wide as well. Zafirons Pro. So I would just say it works on very dry weather. Like, it's very sticky on dry weather. It's very grippy. You can do a turn and you can respect it. But when it goes to the wet weather, it's a bit more risky lah. Okay. I ride a 38mm. So I bought off a friend through online. He just sold me these bars for very cheap, because it's like just a aluminium 38mm bars that he has lying around. So I got it off him. And the stem is actually a Tosik stem. So it's actually a China stem. Actually, I do not condone getting OEM stuff for reasons of like manufacturers and all that. But at the same time, it's very hard to find sizes of like proper sizes for especially someone who is small and require that length, right? So I got it off AliExpress, and it's actually so far has been holding on pretty well. So that is one of the big shocking moments I have about OEM items.
How does this bike perform overall?
Honestly, it performs like any other bike, but of course the geometry of one of which will be the geometry is very slack, so it feels very relaxed. And as also like, I think they have this vibration dampening for the 765s, where they try to make it less vibratey on roads, and I think I've seen that a lot, especially with my 28mm, right? It actually allows it to be more comfortable on roads, so it feels quite comfortable. It doesn't feel very uptight, and it feels relaxed. I think, and that's what I've been going for, very relaxed. So I'm actually a pretty short person, a very small person. I'm about 1.6, so the frame is a size XS. So the thing about bicycles is it's not meant for every person. So I would say my short stature is actually like quote unquote a death of me, because of the stack of this frame. Actually, the stack of the frame is actually quite high. It's a very relaxed geometry, and I would say it's a very nice ride to ride for long distances or like very endurance ride. But as you can tell from the stem, I do not like endurance riding lah. For a person like me, especially like, once again, small stature, when you ride with a lot of big groups, right, you tend to compare yourself with those big groups, like in terms of your size, your bike, especially like those guys with like, okay, I know a few guys with their seat posts towering over them, you know. And then you realize when you're a small guy, your seat post can't tower to anything. So I think one of it is just to enjoy riding, and I think I've been doing so with a person with like a lot of other hobbies, right? Your bike becomes a tool that you ride every weekend, every day if possible. But yeah, so I think it's just to enjoy your riding anywhere, anytime, you know.
Okay, we'll move on to the Instagram Q&A. We've got quite a lot of questions. I think your bike is very popular. I'm slow shit. Okay, his question is, are you planning to change your cockpit?
I think for now, the cockpit is not the major issue lah. I would say the cockpit had, because I think there's many research online and many YouTube videos online that says that aero parts do not provide like the most amount of like differences in terms of wattage, right? So I think for now, I'm okay with this. I'm still a student, so I do not want to blow my budget off a cockpit. I think nowadays it goes for like 800, 600 plus. So I think for now, I'm happy with what I have.
Second question is from Javen here. Question is, where did you buy the bike?
Actually, I got off the bike from KH Cycles. Yeah, like I say, they were from Ubi and then they went to East Coast Park. Yeah, so yeah, I got off. I think they hold most Look bike as well.
Fan GGWP. What is the weight and the price?
So the weight of this bike is actually, I think just now was a shocking discovery to me as well. So it's a 7.8 kg bike. I think it's also due to I was reading about it actually. So the frame actually has like a specific carbon area in which they add on. So it is heavy due to the frame itself. With stock parts, it will be about 3k. Wow, everything. I spent too much on bicycles, honestly. I would say currently, if I see this as like a market values, like trying to sell it off, right? I would say perhaps a sub 4k price.
Next question is from, I think his name is Ovoknichek. The question is, what is the BB size and the compatibility?
So it has a press fit BB30, which I think, if I'm not wrong, if I'm wrong, it's quite surprising. But the LA Sprint uses a BB30 as well. So I think it uses more or less the same size, if I'm not wrong. But this crank actually is fitted with a FSA 24mm adapter. Yeah, so it allows Shimano cranks essentially.
Okay, this is an interesting question. BG Nelson asks, are zip wheels worth the money?
I'll just give my opinion on it. So I have a strong opinion on carbon wheel sets. So I would say I'm not a big fan of carbon wheel sets in general for now. Because as a student, if I'm not being able to pay for like in case of any emergency like cracks and all that, right, I think it's not worth, because like I rather put money into other hobbies of mine. So I actually do a lot of other different things like running as well. So I would say currently the zip wheel sets is a tad bit flexible on this year's version of it. So it's, when you ride hard on it, it's start to flex a lot. So I would say there are much more affordable wheel sets, especially for carbon wheel sets, that have produced better, I will not say better results, but a better feeling. I mean, if you want to ride comfortably, I would say the zips do provide that comfortable ride. But I think it's not meant for everyone. So I would say, once again, the flexibility, it's way too flexible. And honestly, right after this, I would actually go for a tad bit more specific frame set and much more comfortable geometry for me. And a LE wheel set actually, because I feel that it helps a lot with training.
So I'll move on to the last question, which is, how is braking in wet conditions? Because this is a rim brake, everyone is on disc.
It's very hard to brake on wet weather. That's the truth. But I think it's decently okay to brake. I think maybe because we don't face too much speeds in Singapore. We don't hit 70 km per hour. We don't hit 60 km per hour in Singapore, and we don't brake hard as much as we need to. I think Mount Faber, we only go as fast as 40 km per hour at most, 43, 45. We hit those decently fast times, but it's not. Our brakes are not so crucial in Singapore, essentially. So I would say it's not good. Okay, braking in rim brakes in the wet weather is never good, but I would say it's good enough for Singapore.
Shafiq, thank you so much for coming out and letting me film your bike. Actually, today's video we have a new sponsor. I wouldn't say it's a sponsor, but we've got some freebies here. So this is sponsored by TI Parts. So here is your free gift. So TI's Parts is, he's actually on Carousel. He specializes with titanium bolt. So if you guys want to get titanium bolts, head over to his link is in the description. Mention Oompa Loompa and you'll get 5% off. So yes, so thank you TI Parts, and Shafiq, thanks for coming out, and I really appreciate you letting me film a bike.